Good
I got.
evening, everyone. Whoa, I don't know who go first.
I'm I'm on the wrong side.
Then move to the other side.
Yeah. There we go. That's better. That was throwing me off.
Everybody, welcome to a special edition of YFNA News. I am Cynthia McDonald, host of the 13%.
And I am Ethan Michael, co-host or former co-host of In Black and White. Although I'm going to be taking a break from that, so I'll just be the YFNA News producer guy.
Okay, and I substitute sometimes as the YFNA News producer gal.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what happens.
Director, promoter, marketer. We do it all, Cynthia.
We really do. We are the jack of all YouTube trades. That's
We
what I
try,
want to say.
that's for sure. We definitely, or I try to be.
Yeah, I will be the first person to say I am a master of none. How about that?
Set up a banner. By the way, anyone watching, if you want to join us and talk the election coverage, there is a link in the description of the video, and you can click that and join us on stream. We just ask that you remain respectful.
Correct. So, Ethan, have you been watching some of the election returns that have been coming back so far?
Yes. Trump just stepped ahead 6 more points, though, in the time that we started this show till right now. So
Oh
we
my
are
goodness.
we're now at 85 Biden, 61 Trump.
Mm-hmm.
However, Trump is in the lead in the popular vote by about 200,000 people.
Interesting. Well, now we all know that popular vote does not mean that you win the presidency. We have
Yeah.
seen on more than one occasion that that was not the case. Remember, Hillary won the popular vote by 3 million votes in 2006. However, the Electoral College went to Trump. So it would be very interesting to see, what happens tonight.
Yes.
So I know that I've been looking so far at, I've been looking at a few different outlets. I was like binge watching CNN coverage before we actually came on. And they were really harping on Florida.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just listening to another station right now, and they were saying, and this, again, don't take this as fact by any means. This is just something one of the commentators was saying, is that Florida may require a recount due to the voter turnout. But I don't know. This is times like this is where we need a producer to quickly verify this information as fast as possible.
I know that's because but when we are the producers, we got to fact check ourselves. How about that? Yeah. Or if any person who happens to see the StreamYard link, and if you are if this is kind of what you yabba dabba do, come on to the live. We really would appreciate a jump in. So I know that we reached out to a few other people to see if they can come on. So we'll see what happens in the future. Now, one of the things that I was doing before we actually, hey Lori, before we actually came live, is I was just looking at some articles concerning voter turnout, and actually, what's kind of interesting is that in the most recent years that this election has some of the highest voter turnout ever.
Really?
Yes.
Everyone I know is really getting out there and wanting to make their voice heard. And I think that's great that, people are finally doing that.
Yeah.
I am personally excited. I actually met my goal. I said by election day, I would convince one of my family members not to vote for Donald Trump. And I was successful.
Oh, really?
Yes. I can't believe it. I'm jumping up and down, super pumped. Yes, I got one, just one. Although I wish it was more, if I'm being entirely honest.
That's fair. Well, I will have to say that one of the things that none of my family were voting for Trump. I would definitely say that for the most part, my family is Democratic. However, I was very happy that I coached my mother exactly how to vote when we went to the polls 2 weeks ago. I was like, okay, this is how you're gonna vote. You're gonna vote this. You're gonna vote that. This is the measures you're gonna vote in. And matter of fact, let's just go ahead and pull up ballotready.org all together so that you just know exactly what you're gonna do when you get into the vote. Okay. And then she's like, okay.
So she didn't vote for Donald Trump then?
She didn't vote for him last time.
Okay, good.
Well, so let's just be clear, everybody. This is how, let's just look at the election returns from 2016. I got this particular JPEG up. So remember, this is how the votes went last in 2016. So as you can see, that when it came to like the youngest people, it looks like that mostly went Democratic. When it came to if we even break out race, the vote actually went 54%. Is that 54? Yeah, 54% was actually went to Donald Trump. That was white. 39% went to Hillary. As far as like black was concerned, and like I said, this is usually how my family voted. 91% of the vote went Democratic, and I believe it's Hispanic is like about 66%. Mostly it was white men that voted mostly for Trump. And then you see, and even white women actually were about 47%. It's kind of interesting that you saw it almost like white women were like a split, almost an even split when it came to Hillary Clinton. So I would be really interested to know how these numbers are going to break out this time around. I heard a lot of pundits talking about the differences between even I think that one of the issues that we were having even with Florida being so highly contested is because it has a very diverse population, even when it comes to Latinx people, as far as like their sensibilities of whether they go Republican or Democratic. So so that is very interesting to see, and you can even see like how like that particular map was just breaking down depending on who was where will often depend on if that particular county went blue or if it went red. So it's interesting to see.
Yes. I was almost one of those white males that voted for Donald Trump in 2016.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was avid supporter of him until probably I think it was around, judging off my Facebook page, like the memories, I
Mhm.
pinpointed around a month before that I came to
Mm.
myself. I was like, I can't vote for this guy. I
Oh,
can't do it.
wow.
Yeah.
Was it like one thing? I think that you said this before, but was it what was it that's basically said no, I can't particularly vote that way?
It was the way he would constantly insult people and
Mm.
talk to them on like Twitter and interviews. I was like, how, like, I can't. Like, I don't want people looking up to this man. I don't want the entire world seeing this man as our president. So
Mm.
I couldn't vote for
Mm.
him.
I remember the next day when I went to work, I cried. I just want to say that I
Really,
did. I did cry. I'm like, oh my God, why did you do this to me, America? Like, I felt personally offended.
the he is increasing in the popular vote. He's ahead about 700,000 now.
Ooh, this is so that's going to be very interesting. I know that like let's see, Florida is still 50% of the 50.8% is still reporting towards Donald Trump, and 48.3% is going towards Biden.
Yeah,
It's
so
it's going to be so
either way.
close.
Yes.
Now, now it's kind of interesting. Even when you pull up that map, did you even see like Texas is possibly going blue?
Yes, they've been talking about that all day. It could go really either way at this point, but man,
Mhm.
if it goes blue, that would be pretty damn awesome.
Man, it's this whole election is just like, even though like at this particular point I'm just like, okay, whoever wins, they're just gonna win and we're just gonna have to deal with it. But regardless, but regardless, like, just to see how, like, depending on where we are as far as like sensibilities is concerned, people are, voting differently how they traditionally voted. It's when we're looking at states, you know what I'm saying? It's because,
Mm.
like, Texas has been a red state or a Republican state for the longest. I want to say at least I don't ever remember. I don't ever remember in all the years that I can think of that when I've ever paid attention to elections that Texas went blue ever. But I know that some pundits were predicting that might be the case because of the demographic change that is happening in Texas at this point.
Could be. Uh, I saw ABC earlier was conducting some polls, and they would show the correlation between Biden supporters. And so sorry, there was two questions. Are you more concerned with the economy or
Mm-hmm.
how the virus is being handled? And
Mm-hmm.
Biden supporters typically were more concerned with how the virus was handled, and
Right.
Trump supporters were typically more concerned with how the economy is being handled. And
That's
that
pretty.
votes were decided.
That's pretty traditional. It's kind of interesting. I remember, like, I was reading an article not too long ago about the growing support amongst Asians for Donald Trump, and I remember a few weeks ago when I took a vacation, and I decided to treat myself to a manicure pedicure because, and I was
You deserve
listening because. And I was listening to a conversation between the business owner, who happened to be Vietnamese, and her customer. And so they were talking about the election, and they were talking about, like, well, who are you going to vote for? So, like, the customer asked this to the business owner, and she said, I'm voting Trump. And I was like, do tell. And and one of the reasons why she said, and you kind of you highlighted it, is because of the economy. So oftentimes, when even I have a cousin who's a business owner, and he told me that he's a Republican. And I think that people, and a lot of times when you have, like, people who are a bit more focused on the economy, that's usually where the Republican bread and butter stays. So yes, it's
I
interesting.
have been actually surprisingly blocked by several Trump supporters today. And dude, I'm not like, while I am outspoken with my opinion, I'm never like an asshole or brash to anyone, but
No.
j- just by challenging or asking questions, like, one of my favorite things to do with Trump supporters is when they say keep America great or make America great. Okay, when was it
Mm-hmm.
great? How was it
Mm,
great? By what
mm,
metric are you using to
mm,
decide it was great? Because pretty sure education, healthcare, or I wait, prison population per capita were pretty great
mm,
there.
mm. Well, it's kind of interesting that you bring up prison population, because that's one of the Achilles heels of Biden and Harris, actually. Because, if you think about, I was listening actually to a video earlier, and the YouTuber actually made a pretty interesting point. I say interesting a lot. I guess I like that word, but regardless. But he made a point, and he said that um, we are talking a lot about criminal justice. But if in actuality, a criminal justice system, to really talk about it, especially when it comes to, prison population and the disproportionate prison population when it comes to Black men, a lot of that has to do with the 1994 crime bill that Biden defended for years.
But
He just said this year that it was a mistake. Just this year.
but he did still admit it was a mistake. I mean, it's a horrible atrocity. Yes.
Yes.
It should not have happened.
Yes.
But maybe the guy's learning from his mistakes.
Well,
to rectify them.
Well, since he has been confronted a lot, and I know that one of the political minds that I listen to a lot, named Yvette Carnell, she says often that politicians do not respond to applause, they respond to pressure. And I would definitely have to say this particular go round, especially when it came to the Biden Harris ticket, was not as smooth with African American voters as I believe that they really wanted it to be. Because oftentimes, like, African Americans have a tendency to vote in a block, but you did see a lot more of them breaking away. And a lot of it had to do with policies that were perpetuated by Biden, and also follow suit with Harris when she was an AG in California. So I really believe that a lot of that was the reason why you really heard a pivot. So it's yeah. So
Harris was also unfortunately quite hard or oppressive against sex workers, which I got to say I am in favor. I support the industry. I think it needs to be decriminalized and legalized.
I do too. I do too.
Because we see from other countries and other areas where it is legal, the societal benefits that come with it.
Yeah, I do too.
Larry, if you could, when you say I don't see how that is any more than hopes and dreams, could you clarify what you're referring to? And hey, Larry, why don't you come join us on stream, baby?
We got a whole open link for people who want to join in. I see a few people that's in the chat, especially on Facebook. I don't know if I put the StreamYard link on Facebook, but if you guys jump over to YouTube, you can actually see the StreamYard link in the show notes below, so that you can join us. And if you want to have this conversation with us, come on down. We're gonna be on.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
The description and all the videos. So
okay.
For YouTube, there's a link right at the top. If you click that, you will get to come on stream with us.
See, where one producer fails, the other one picks up the vanguard. You see how that works, people?
It was a missed opportunity. Oh, God. I can't believe I just used corporate lingo. So 85 and 61. Yes. Trump's still leading the popular.
Yep, still leading the popular. But again, remember, folks, just because they leading the popular doesn't mean that you're going to win the presidency. So we'll see.
I don't know if you're aware, but I did commit earlier today that for the first time ever, well, I should say for the first time ever, for the first time as an atheist, I will be praying tonight that Trump doesn't win. Now, by the end of the show, Cynthia, which God am I going to pray to? Like, which one? Effective results. So I sure that does not.
Well, depending on who you talk to, Ethan, is going to determine who that going to be, right?
All right, in the comment section, vote for the best God I should pray for. I'll pray to you.
Oh my goodness, when atheists begin to pray, that's hilarious.
Well, say something. That's how much I don't want this guy to win, man.
That's hilarious. Now, one of the things that I would say that I was really concerned about, I was even talking to this about, I was talking this with Arthur, and actually Arthur's backstage, by the way. I was really concerned because I was hearing about all the police presence that was out tonight. And one of the things that I was very concerned about is if Trump loses, how will his base react?
Well, see, here's the catch-22 and how Trump has been smart and, in my opinion, intentionally manipulative. From the get-go, he has made comments like the only way he's going to lose if it gets stolen, or repeatedly that mail-in voting is fraudulent, that the Democrats are trying to steal the election. So he's already prepped his base that pretty much the only way he can lose is if there's fraud. And if they believe there's fraud, what are they going to do? I mean, to give an example, I have a couple of QAnon people on my Facebook that are posting things like, "We've got our army ready." Like what? For what?
And that's the thing I'm concerned about. I mean, because like, you know, at this particular point, like I said, I didn't vote for either of them. But at the same time, I'm very concerned about like, okay, if Biden wins, and he's been projected to win, but again, Hillary was projected to win. So we don't know. But at the same time, like, you know, how these particular people who are diehard MAGA people, and let's not forget that those are the people who have a tendency to be walking around with AR-15s, Kyle Rittenhouse, and popping up into places, getting their mama to take them to different protest places. But I'm just saying,
you know, they have their God-given rights, God and guns. That's
God and God, guns, and glory.
Yes, that's all the party is now. God, guns, and freedom. Oh, there. I'll say I'll be the first to say I don't like the idea of Republicans' freedom. You know, particularly like when they want to jail people for kneeling during the flag. I'm sorry. I want to be careful what I say right now, so I'm just going to bite my tongue.
You know, it's understandable. I hear you. I think that Ian, if your prayers are answered, do not come back.
Interesting question. Okay, so if I pray and Donald Trump loses, did the prayer work? How do I know?
It's not demonstrable. We don't have like a continuous methodology that you say that this is actually going to be the case. Come on, Ethan.
He just went up again. 85.
He did. Well, we want to bring Arthur on. I mean, he's been waiting for anything. We've been pandering. Arthur, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, you are really close to the camera. Back up.
Yeah, we can't see. We just see a hand. Oh,
there you go.
Turn your phone sideways.
But can you hear me?
Yeah, but turn your phone sideways to get rid of those bars.
Yeah, just do it like that.
I'm getting off the bus at the next stop.
Okay.
So anyway.
Did you want to say your piece? Did you want to? We were looking at the election map so far. Where we at, Ethan? I'm just adding it. So we're still at 72 electoral votes towards Trump, 85 electoral votes towards Biden.
Yeah, I think Trump is about to win Florida.
What was that? It's really hard to.
Huh?
Say that again. We didn't hear you.
I think Trump is about to win Florida.
Oh, it's a possibility. Here, let's bring that map up again. What's the what do we got so far with reporting in that we're still at 50.9% voting towards from what they have counted so far in Florida, going to Donald Trump, 48.2% going towards Biden. Now usually what when it comes to like, you know, voting maps, this is a swing state. Florida has 29 electoral votes. They have 29 electoral votes. So oftentimes, depending on you know, where the state goes, could be a big booster depending on who you know, depending on where that goes. I know I sound so, you know, matter of fact when I say these things, like, you know, like I'm real, like intelligent conversation going on right here. But yes. So matter of fact, I had this banner. I got this from Politico that, you know, these are the states that normally, if you win these states, more than likely you win the White House. And but, you know, of course, like we don't have like any states coming in from the West Coast just yet because their polling places are still open. So it's going to be interesting what's going to come out from there.
Am I? What are you referring to, Lori? Yeah, and if you want to join, wait, is Arthur muted? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to join us on the stream, there's a link in the description. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I you know what? The way it's looking, I got a feeling that Trump is going to win Florida, and if he gets Florida on lock, that's just about it.
Maybe, but but also too, like you see, like how Texas is going. That's a big
Yeah,
state with a lot of electoral votes. So and again, usually Democrats have oftentimes allowed Texas to be a wash, as much as
right,
like you saw better. I think that one of the other things that is very telling about Texas at how strong Beto O'Rourke's Senate race was against Cruz 4 years ago. He almost won, so that probably, I think, oftentimes was like, a telling point to say, hey, guess what? Texas might be up for grabs in the next election. So I think that there was a lot of mobilization in that particular state that possibly caused it to be a bit more the case of it going towards blue.
right.
By the way, Kevin, you're more than welcome to join us. The link is in the description.
Yes.
I'm running out of things to talk about.
Well, I can actually pull up this article. I can pull up this article like that I pulled about early voting. Let me see if I can. Hold on, because I think that this is kind of interesting. Give me a moment. Y'all keep on talking real quick while I pull this up. Give me a minute.
Like I said, I ran out of things to talk about.
Well, we'll find out some more while I figure out my technology real quick. Hold on. Okay, hold
If
on.
you're watching us on Facebook, click the link in the description to go over to YouTube and like and subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell so you can get notified every time we go live.
There you go.
We got new patrons. I can pull those names up. Thank you to patrons, and if you like what we do, consider becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month. And where did I put that? Okay, our top patrons are Marsha Ortega, Best Name Ever, Cynthia McDonald, Marlon Watson, Ian Davenport, and Eric Fox. I think.
Okay, I got my thing together. Okay, y'all ready for this article? Because I like reading articles, because I think that some of these particular talking points are cool to actually highlight, to frame things. Okay, so this is an article that was printed, I want to say, in about a few days ago from CNN by Adam Levy. And it's called Pre-Election. Okay, get off my screen, you stupid thing. Okay, so it's called Pre-Election Day. Vote surpasses 2/3 of all 2016 ballots cast. So with just 3 days until Election Day, pre-election voting has now surpassed 2/3 of all ballots cast during the 2016 presidential election. More than 91.6 million Americans have voted so far, as a majority of states are reporting record early voting turnout in the 2020 election. While it's too soon to know how that record turnout will translate to Election Day, the massive early voting numbers suggest a high level of enthusiasm for voting this year, despite the obstacles of the pandemic. These votes represent about 43% of registered voters nationwide, according to a survey of election officials in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. by CNN, Edison Research, and Catalyst. 16 states have already seen more than half of their registered voters cast ballots ahead of November 3rd. Nationwide, the more than 91.6 million ballots already cast represent about 67% of more than 136.5 million ballots cast in the 2016 presidential election. Pre-election voting is surging nationwide, with many states seeing record turnout in early voting in person and an influx of mail-in ballots compared to last cycle, with voters wanting to avoid crowding and at the polls because of the pandemic. As of Friday, Texas and Hawaii surpassed their total turnouts from the 2016 general election. 35 states and Washington, D.C. have crossed their halfway marks for a total of 2016 ballots cast, including 13 of CNN's 16 most competitively ranked states: Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, Nevada, Florida, Arizona, Colorado, Wisconsin, Maine, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, and Nebraska. About half of those votes already cast in this cycle come from 16 key states, which play a crucial role in determining who wins the presidency this year. Some voter information comes as from Catalyst, a company that provides data and analytics and other services to Democrats, academics, and nonprofit issue advocacy organizations, is providing insights to who is voting before November. The
Quick
early number.
time out.
I'm sorry.
We got some updates real quick.
Okay, let's hear it.
119 for Joe Biden and 92 for Trump.
See, that's the early voting. That's the early voting. Where's the popular vote at?
Right down there.
I can't see that either.
Oh,
Roll it up, scroll it up some. Yeah, scroll up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so we got Donald Trump looks like he's still winning the popular vote by 21 million. And it seems like that Biden is like right under 20.049 million. Interesting. All right, I'm going to have to go back to my article. Okay, the early voting numbers come amid an ongoing pandemic, leading in many states to extend their early voting or expand access to mail-in voters. Voters in some states have braved long lines and endured long hours of waiting and to cast their ballots in Supporters of Democratic nominee Joe Biden have shown a strong preference of mail-in voting, while most of President Trump's supporters say they want to vote on Election Day. Not all states report party affiliations of early voters, but in several states, including Florida, North Carolina, Nevada, and Iowa, Republicans are beginning to narrow the advantage in the pre-election day voting. So I thought it was just like really interesting just to kind of see like even how like early voting could have been like a big catalyst on how this particular election is possibly going to turn out. The suspense is killing me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So, oh my goodness. Let's see. What else do we got going on here? Ethan, you're gonna bring did we lose Arthur? Did he come back on?
No, but he wasn't talking and the camera was just moving, so I pulled it off screen.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's bring him on the screen at him. Arthur.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Did I hear you say that it looks like Texas is gonna be blue?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes. Yes.
So it's right now 49.6 Joe Biden, 49.1 Donald Trump.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it could go either way.
It can go either way. So yeah, that's one of those really hotly contested states was Texas, with the possibility of it going blue, because oftentimes, if you think about it, that the demographic of Texas has changed. One of the things that I was listening to some reports say when it comes to like demographics in Texas, and this is even like speaking on how diverse the Latinx voter would be, is that you have a lot of people who are now like coming of age, that kind of remember how hotly contested immigration was. And of course, like Texas has a very large Mexican American population. So when you're having more of that particular population coming to age, and especially, you know, with DACA being a very hotly contested immigration legislation, and Biden saying that DACA was going to be one of the first things that he was going to tackle in his first 100 days, you know, that's possibly a really big turning point as far as blue instead of going red. So it's interesting. It's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. We just gonna see and just watch and just find out. You know what I'm saying? Arthur.
Yeah.
Arthur.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right, Arthur, what do you think about that?
Look, you know what? Overall, I still think Trump is going to win.
What was that?
I said I think Trump is going to. Overall, I think Trump is going to win.
Okay. I mean,
this is not a in favor of or against. It just smells that way to me.
Well, you know, Arthur, Ethan, a very comfortable in his atheism, said that he was praying that he would be praying that Biden wins. We still trying to figure out which God. I mean, say that one more time.
Hey, Arthur, can we see you?
Yes.
Thank you.
I think that Arthur said that atheist,
I'm still outside.
Oh, okay. He said the atheist prayers don't grow.
No, they don't.
I don't know. Like I said, it's not demonstrable. We don't know what's going to happen.
What are you praying to?
I have no idea. I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah,
I'm praying to something.
Yeah, we haven't figured out this yet. Like, you know, we gonna we run. I would say to the chat, you all want to run a pool of, you know, which God Ethan should be praying to when it comes to election 2020. So right. You know, we can go ahead and pose that to the chat to write in who you all think which God that Ethan should be praying to at this particular moment. Oh goodness,
Arthur, I do seriously hope you're wrong.
Yes, sir.
I said I do seriously hope you're wrong. Like,
he doesn't know.
Did you? Well, hey, did Ethan know that there are police all downtown and that National Guard are walking around downtown? Did you know that?
No.
Huh?
Sorry, what?
He said no, he didn't know.
Did you know that police are stationed downtown and National Guard are walking around downtown?
Really? Where at?
Yeah, all over. When I got off the train, matter of fact, I just came from a training class in Oak Brook, and the police are on alert out there.
Man, I guess I should be on the streets getting news coverage right now.
No, it's no joke. I don't know what they think is going to happen, but they're out here.
Well, one of the things I said to Ethan earlier, Arthur, is that one of the things that I'm just concerned about is that if Biden wins, and you know, and we already know how very staunch supporters MAGAs are, and they love that whole, their slogan is guns, God, and glory. I don't know how they're gonna react if Biden happens to take the presidency and they may feel like they got to take something in their own hands. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but sometimes you can make certain when you see like certain things, like your mind has a tendency to go one way. So I get very concerned about that because we really don't know how certain people are going to react if the election doesn't go the way they would like
No,
it to
no, no. We
go.
do know how they're going to react. When I was imitating that person that was online, I wasn't joking all the way. I was actually reiterating what he was saying. He said that if the vote goes wrong, his duty is to protect America.
So
And
we
he
got
talked
two.
about all the guns that he's got and that he's legal. He has his firearms card, and the police bet not say nothing to him, and he's a white guy.
Mm.
That's what he was saying, and he was serious. He wasn't playing.
Yeah, that's scary. And those are
And
the
he
and
said
those
he got people all over the place waiting for the right time to do what they need to do to protect America. That's what he said.
and that's the type of thing that I'm concerned about.
Right.
That's exactly, those are the things that I'm actually concerned about. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
when you ask people like, what do you really mean as far as like, protecting America? What do you really mean when it comes to like, where you got people at? I mean, like, what does that mean? One of the things that we always mostly had was a peaceful transfer of power between from one president to another, and even in
Right.
other offices as well.
Right.
However, the last time that you actually saw like any type of contestants when it came to presidents coming into power was Lincoln in 19. I'm sorry, in the 1860s,
Right.
because he was very much so an abolitionist, even though that he said that if it was going to break up the Union, that he would not abolish slavery, but he ended up doing it anyway because it made more sense as far as like being able to add black. You still had states that said, nope, we're not going to accept this, and we're going to go ahead and break away from the Union. So that was like 155 years ago. So I don't know what's going to happen, but Ethan, you
Yes.
have some people who have chimed in on some gods that you may need to check out for praying.
Hey, the other thing that I wanted to say is that these kind of people are not necessarily just in the South or in Appalachia.
Mm.
Apparently, they're all over the place, because if they're not, then why in the hell were the Oak Brook police on alert
We
today?
saw what happened in Michigan.
You're right.
You saw what happened in Michigan. So, and that's a hotly contested state. I know that they didn't have them come in yet. Oh, but listen, Michigan, what is it saying? That Michigan is looking red?
Yeah, don't forget northern Wisconsin either. He's got a lot of them kind of people up there too.
Yeah. Well, according to the election map we're seeing right now, that from what's coming so far, that Michigan is about 57% going towards Trump. Hover to
Mhm.
Wisconsin and see what that says, Ethan. Wisconsin about 58% going to Trump. Oh, what's going on in Minnesota?
Minnesota's probably going to Trump.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I see it. 61% going towards Trump. So,
Yeah.
yeah. IQ says for you to consider Joe Pesci. Oh my goodness. Dark Sith said, maybe you want to think about Apophis,
Mm.
the god of chaos.
I'll get to that.
Or maybe Janus, the god of beginning and endings. There's just so many to choose from. There's so many to choose from. Hey, but Yeah, folks. So we were just in here, just just kind of just actually just talking a little bit about what's going on in this particular election. See if we had like any takers that actually wanted to go ahead and bring in their particular points of view. I know that
Mhm.
we have like a pretty, we had a couple of people kind of chime in a little bit on the chat. Dark Sis talked about businesses in South Carolina were boarded up and their
Mhm.
windows when they were last out last night. Ooh.
Right.
Yeah, I could see that happening because again, depending on the way that this particular election goes, sometimes people they may get a little they might get a little antsy and start acting any old kind of way. We
All
don't
right.
know. We don't know. But I wanted to look at this other particular article um, that I was looking at concerning some predictions. I know that you mentioned, Arthur, that you think that Trump is going to win. We don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I think Trump's
Um,
gonna win.
well, we'll see. We shall see. But I wanted to bring up this article from the Washington Post. Let's see if I can share my screen.
I think we just lost your audio, Cynthia.
Oh, we did? Hold
Oh,
on.
there you go.
We back? Okay, cool. Alrighty. So this particular article is from the Washington Post, and this is
Now
an opinion
I want
piece.
to let you know, Cynthia, there's people down here in Mississippi. We don't care nothing about no Washington folks.
Well, you know what? I'm not reading to Mississippi. How about that? Anyway.
We don't care nothing about no Washington folks.
Well, you better listen, dadgummit. Okay, so this is by Henry Olson, who was giving his particular
Uh-huh.
he's a Washington Post columnist and a senior fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Center. So, I jumped ahead a little bit quick. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, so these are the times that try men's souls. The opening line of Thomas Paine's revolutionary war pamphlet series, The American Crisis, resonates with Americans as much as today as it did during the bleak winter of 1776. We, like our patriot ancestors, are locked in a struggle. Each side believes it must win to preserve the freedom and human dignity that are the natural rights of every American. Our souls are bowed under the pressure of conflict, but each side remains resolute, even as we feel our nation's bonds weaken under the strain. All eagerly desire victory on Tuesday, that will be today, and fear what might befall them if they are defeated.
Mm.
So I kind of want to kind of go into his forecast. Okay, so his presidential forecast, this is what he's saying. So popular vote predictions: Biden 52.5%, range 51 to 54%. Trump would be 45.3%, ranging between 43 to 46.5%. Electoral college, he was saying that 350 electoral college votes would go to Biden. He says a range between 289 electoral to 289 to 375 votes, and Trump would get about 188, ranging between 163 to 249 votes. And then this is his forecast for the 2020 electoral map. So this is interesting. He actually sees Texas going red, but right now we're seeing it going blue. He said that Florida is going to go blue,
Yeah,
but right now we're seeing it's going red.
it's
He
going red.
said that I believe that Georgia, if you can kind of look, I'm trying to think if Georgia is
Red
going.
Georgia's gonna be red.
Well, when we were looking at the voting map earlier, it was kind of looking like that Georgia was going blue, if I'm not
Mm.
mistaken.
Uh,
Kenny,
Georgia is 56% for Donald Trump and
mm,
42% for Joe Biden.
Okay, so Georgia most likely is going to go red. All right, so those are his particular predictions as far as like the electoral college is going to go. He said the shifting states and districts is going to be Arizona, North Carolina, Florida, but they're still counting in Florida, Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and is this New Hampshire?
Mhm.
I think so.
Wow.
And I think so. Yeah, New Hampshire. So that is very interesting stuff indeed. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, see, the thing is that the reason why Georgia is going red because we got a lot of people stationed at the polling places encouraging people to vote correctly.
Oh Jesus, Lord have mercy. And again, you know what? And see, that's kind of interesting. You say it just like that, like how they used to talk back in the day when they had like certain people that was actually at the voting polls, making sure that either certain people did not vote
Uh-huh.
or they was making sure they voted correctly.
That's right. That's democracy in action. What you talking about?
Child, I don't know. I don't know. But listen, you guys,
What?
we really thank you guys for like hanging out with us for a little while. I know that like this I have a tendency to think that this is going to be a pretty long night, as far as like with all the votes that are going to be coming in.
Mhm.
Again, I think it's still too early to call. I mean, like we still got Joe Biden at 119 electoral college votes and Donald Trump at 92. We
Yes.
and but Trump looks like he's still winning the popular vote by 49%.
Yep.
So and we still have to see, and even though like we still have like some places that might flip blue, we don't know. Florida is still counting. Even though like the early preliminary votes looks like Texas is possibly going to be flipping blue. New Mexico.
So
Oh,
close.
that's interesting.
It's so
Looks like. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ethan.
Oh, no, I was just saying that, yeah, it could go blue, but it's 0.1%, or no, sorry, it's like not 0.9%. I apparently can't do math right now. But yeah,
It's
it's
okay.
really close.
Yeah, I mean, so like a lot of these places that even seems like they're going to be blue leaning does not necessarily they're going to be blue turning. So I think it's just going to be a really long night. We still got to think about the mail-in votes that came in, the early votes that were still going to be counted. And we still have like some of these
Yep.
Um,
We
these West
do.
Coast states that haven't that are still open, so we don't know what their particular count is going to be. Arizona, I believe, is another contested state. It could go either way. You had like some pundits that was actually saying that Arizona could possibly go blue. But
I
bless
think
you, but
California's going to be red.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like I know that Kamala didn't do all that great in her own
No,
home
she
state.
didn't.
She didn't do great
Them
in her own
people,
home state.
look, black men in California are not voting for Kamala. Telling you.
Possibly not. Well, I don't. That's a possibility, but but again, it's really too early to tell. Only because like California usually has a tendency to go blue, but who knows? Like I said, like depending. One of the things that's been so telling about this particular election is how polarizing it has been. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been extremely polarizing. So, some places that, the possibly were red are losing that grip. Some
Mm.
places that were, where people were more lockstep with the Democratic Party, that's slipping. So it's just going to be really interesting. It will be interesting also to see exactly how the Senate is going to go. I'm really curious to see how that's going to happen. Ethan, is the do we have like election results on the Senate so far? I know that Dick Durbin won his seat again in Illinois. I did not vote for him, but that's neither here nor there. Um, and so, and more than likely, yeah, the Senate is going to go blue. I'm really curious to know, like, how is Lindsey Graham going to win? Is he going to hold on to his seat in South Carolina? Is Mitch McConnell going to hold on to his seat in Kentucky?
Yeah, he already did. He won.
Oh, damn.
Oh, he did?
So, yeah. I really was hoping he'd get taken out. I really was, because I do not like that man at all. But you know, it is what it is. That's still a deeply red state. But you know, who knows what's going to happen in the future when it comes to Kentucky. I think that we have some hopes that, you know, Kentucky's electorate might be turning. So we'll see. Only thing is like, of course, like, you know, when it comes to Senate races, like those terms are 6 years. Congressional seats are only 2. So oftentimes, like, congressmen have a tendency to be, you know, always in I'm about to campaign mode, because they can lose their seat just like that. So I personally hope, I personally would love to see a difference in how we do term limits when it comes to congressional seats. I like to see, you know, the House of Representatives actually have like a longer term limit, so that they can actually take time to get things done and be less concerned about campaigning and more concerned about legislation. And I would like to see a shorter term limit when it comes to Senates, so that can be the same thing. And so that we can possibly get a bit more bipartisanship when it comes to actually discussing a lot of policies that come on the Hill. So we shall see. But everyone, looks like that we are coming up to our hour mark. And I think that we said that this is how long we was going to do, so that we can go ahead and jump into other election returns and see what's going on by the by. We all thank you guys for, again, hanging out with us. Make sure that you listen to Ethan right now, because I'm going to shut up.
Biden just jumped ahead by 3 more, so he's at 122, and then 92.
He's at.
So, come on, Blue Man. Come on.
And you didn't even pick a god yet. See, look at that. Anyway. You didn't even pick a god to pray to yet, Issa. So look at that. Anyway, again, everyone, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for actually tuning in to YFNA News for this special election coverage. Oh, do we have we I think I heard him.
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, again, everyone, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to YFNA News, hit the bell, so every time that we actually go live, you get a notification. And again, let us thank our patrons.
Oh, we already thanked them, so they're good.
Okay, so we thank our patrons. Yes, if you want to become a patron, you can click the link down below, and you can actually subscribe to be a patron for as little as $1 a month. $1. That's all. But we prefer the $5 mark. I ain't gonna. We would prefer the $5. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really going to actually help us grow. That's going to make our platform better. And also too, like, just letting you guys know, if you are tuned into the 13%, we are taking a hiatus until next year. We're going to do one more show on November 9th, and we're actually going to be doing a cross show with ADOS LA's Politics and Black host, Chad Brown and Friday Jones. So make sure that you guys tune in for that next Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And make sure you guys check out In Black and White with Rick Lockhart II and Kendra Pennington, coming on at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, where they will be pontificating on tonight's results.
Yeah.
We guys, thank you again for tuning in. Have a great rest of your evening and stay safe.
Good night.
You hit the button.